This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that today you will consider this like your vitamin or mineral for your heart and mind. And wherever you receive podcasts, will you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review, and it'll help others to be able to find this podcast. I have a couple openings on my calendar for anyone who'd like to see if there's any possibility of us working together. And I can come along and help you to fulfill your dreams, help you if there's areas where you're stuck to be the very best that you can be. Just go to Dr. Ron Blake /call, drronblake.com/call, and you'll get on my calendar and I'll give you a call and we'll see what the possibilities are of us being on the same team and helping each other. The thing I want to talk about today is I want you to focus on something that perhaps you have not really thought about, and that is merely focusing on doing one thing at a time. Let's talk about it in another way. How about talking about it in response to winning one thing? Before you go to bed tonight, if you knew that you did your best and you won one thing, how would that help you? This really is coming from a premise that many of us are attempting far too many things. Some of us are attempting such small things that even if we accomplish them, it really won't matter a whole lot. So winning on one thing is not saying give up on everything else and just focus only on one thing. What rather it's saying is in those major areas of life where people have the tendency and the desire to set goals, family, business, health, finance, spiritual, you name the categories, you can't have too many categories, that really in a given year or at least a given 6-month period, you should really just try for one main thing. And any of the smaller things you're trying to do should also feed into that, rather than saying, well, in the area of health, I'm going to focus on 19 things. That's impossible. In the area of finance or debt or savings or retirement savings, I'm going to focus on these 7 things. Find the major category of your life and focus for an appreciable amount of time on one thing. Now, this does not mean I'm giving up. I'm just not going to try anymore. It's rather focusing on one thing at a time, because if I focus on one thing at a time, what you will find happens that is oh so interesting is that you actually not only get that one thing done, you get a whole lot more other things done when you focus on one thing at a time. Let's talk about what does it look like if I'm going to take the major areas of my life and just focus on one major goal at a time. The first thing you have to do is you have to have a plan. You're going to have to sit down. If it's a family goal, you need to sit down with your family. If it's work, you may have to pull your team together. You need to really evaluate and have a plan. What are the priorities? What are the major things that I really need to be busy with in my life right now? The number one thing this will help you to do is to eliminate distractions. That is important. I often go into people's work environment and it is so cluttered, so messy, so full of distractions that I often wonder if the reason they are not able to accomplish very many things stems from the simple fact that they live in such an area where it is easy to get distracted. They see a note, they see a remnant of a previous project that's been left undone, and they begin to go down that rabbit trail. The thing that you'll have to plan for when you're focusing on one thing at a time is probably following the Pomodoro technique of really having some focused, concerted time. I have found for me, you'll have to discover what it is for you, but for me that's about a 25-minute stretch where I have the material with me that I need, and I just focus for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Oftentimes I will come back and put another 25-minute of concerted focus. But I have to have a plan, and part of my plan was I experimented. I've tried as much as an hour, and for my mindset, I'm not able to do that very often. I found that 25-minute and really with the 5-minute break, working in 30-minute increments where I really focus is the best plan. But it's not for me to tell you what the best plan for you is. You have to find that out for yourself. And the greatest way you will find it out is to try. Stretch yourself, see if it works, if it doesn't work. But you need to have a plan, not only how you're going to work out the goal that you've set, but what really right now, where you are in your life, not where you wish you were or where you want to be, but right where you are right now, what is the best goal setting? What is the best project that you can be focused on right now? The second right after plan is the area of priority. And planning and priority really go together. And for many of us, our major problem, let me help you with this, is we have too many balls in the air. We are juggling too many things. What's a priority? What is the ball that you can't let go, you cannot drop? What are the things that you may be able to drop them for a season only to pick them up again when you finish some of these other things? You're going to have to sit down and figure that out. This is a very difficult, if not, in fact, impossible task for someone to figure that out for you. So to win at one thing, you have to not only plan and have a plan, you've had to go through some prioritization in your mind and heart of what is the best. The next thing that you have to do, if you make up your mind, I'm just going to win right now in one thing, one area, in every area of my life that's significant, is the purpose. What is your purpose? What do you believe your purpose in life is? It's not just what all do I want out of life, what are the things, and not just what things do I appreciate. There's a lot of things we appreciate, but in order to get to the higher goals and the more important aspects of who we are and why we're here, you're going to have to let some things go. You're going to maybe have to put some things on a shelf for a season or two until you can find out what you need to do. So this really needs to coordinate with what your life's purpose is. The next word I want to use is the word focus. If you do not focus, you will have a difficult time winning one thing, getting a strategic priority accomplished. Focus is something you do. Don't be using all of the excuses I hear today. Well, I have this problem in this area, and I have to take medicine for this, and I really can't do this. A lot of it has been culturally sensitized, this multitasking idea, this having noise blaring everywhere we go, listening in on conversations while we're working. A lot of that sounds really good and makes you sound really intelligent. It just does not work in the real world. Here's what I've discovered about focus over the years. It's like a muscle. No muscle works if it's not exercised. Or perhaps the better way to say it is no muscle works properly until it is properly executed and exercised. So work on focus. Force yourself to sit down in small increments of time and focus on the matter at hand. Your work, you should only do a single thing at a time. Now you hear me talking about time chunking and batching. There are certain similar activities that we must do. They are a part of our job. They are probably not the highest priority. They are certainly not our goals. They're certainly not the one thing that's driving us forward today, but they have to be done. You can kind of batch them, chunk them in time, get them done, but when it is something that is a goal, it's something you really want to win at, it's something you want to succeed at, you need to work on that single item one at a time. Another word that I think goes along with the area of focus is being present. You and I have so much on our minds, so many things to attend to, so many things that are just sort of nagging at us. But focus helps us for a few moments to be present. You know, some are calling this right now, but the operative word is mindfulness, that I'm going to focus my attention, my mind, my strength, my energy, my resources right now on getting this one very important matter taken care of. It's one of the things that I do during my 5-minute break when I've gotten out of a focus session and a work session, and sometimes I just go have a cup of coffee. I use the restroom. I walk. One of the things that I have discovered that I need to do as I'm getting ready to really focus is I need to unplug from technology, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, on it goes, emails, texting. I need to just put it aside and turn my phone on airplane mode or silent, put it in a drawer, and just get myself ready to get into the mindset of focus. I think when you get the focus, you figure out the one thing and the one thing in the several categories that you want to do, and you come up with a plan, and you've begun to prioritize it, and it's your purpose and you're focused. This will give you an edge. This is what single tasking and focusing does. It gives you a leg up. It gives you an edge on all of those around you who are just sort of piddling around, messing around, nibbling at the edges, doing just enough to keep their head above water, but they're not really moving ahead. To win at one thing, there is an absolutely indispensable thing that must be happening, and that is the word execution. You are going to have to learn how to execute, how to get things done. You just have to put your head down, decide you're going to do it, and do it. And when you execute, when you come up with a plan, you come up with a procedure, you begin to exercise your focus muscles, begin to work on one thing at a time that is goal-oriented, is going to move you, your organization, your family forward. When you do this and you really execute on it, it beats fear. All of us have fear. We're never going to get this done. We're never going to grow. We're never going to stretch. We're never going to get in good health. We're never going to save money. We're never going to get out of debt. We're never going to finish this degree. We're never going to be able to buy a house. And you could go on and on. But when you begin to focus, prioritize, and execute, it not only beats fear, but it builds momentum into your life. Now, the next thing that I want to say with all of this, you need a time built into your schedule every day at which you begin to evaluate what you have done. Have you made a difference? Have you done the things that you said you were going to do? Are you able to look back and say, instead of mastering small, semi-inconsequential things, have I gone for my big goals? Have I sat down, pushed away from all of the noise, all of the distractions, all the other things that I would enjoy doing, and instead, did I do what I say I was going to do? Focus on one thing at a time, work in chunks of time, and just focus and exercise my focus muscle. Do not leave evaluation out of the equation. You must evaluate what you're doing so that you can see areas where you need to adjust and where you need to improve. You must evaluate. Evaluating, a part of that is many of us have no time incorporated into our days where we do any deep thinking. Distraction-free thinking, thinking about life, thinking about our faith, thinking about our family, thinking about how can I get better, and am I actually taking the important steps to getting better? You may not want to call it deep thinking. For you, you may be more comfortable with call it reflecting. Doesn't matter what you call it. I'm just saying do not shortchange yourself and go to bed tonight without having some deep thinking or time for reflecting. Am I focused on the one things in areas of my life that are making a difference? Do I have a plan to see it happen? Have I just decided this is what I'm going to prioritize, and that this is my life's purpose? This is why the Lord put me on earth. Are you willing to keep exercising that focus muscle? Take it from a person who tries to exercise periodically. There are times when your muscles scream out they're in pain, but they won't get stronger without being pushed. Make sure as you're doing your work that you're present, that you're mindful. Go ahead, unplug some technology so that you can do some concerted, focused thinking. Execute it. Just put your mind to it. Put your head down and take care of it. It'll beat the fear in your life when you know that you have executed on what you said you were going to do. And as I ended, make sure that you spend some real time today evaluating, making sure that you are doing what you said you were going to do, what you have indicated is important priorities in your life. Take some time today, my friend, to do some deep thinking and reflecting on your life and what you're doing. You have been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that for you today, this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your heart and mind. And again, wherever you receive podcasts, please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Leave a rating and a brief written review. It'll help others to find this. Remember, my leadership friend, you are doing better than you think you are. You really are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.